What is up, Space Noids and Earth Noids? I am just a simple new type, and in this video, we are going back to Universal Century 87 and Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. The hype of the Cosmic Era is over, so we could get back to talking about the good things, like autistic children piloting mobile suits. I want to apologize about last Zeta video. Last time Camille got in a scuffle with some of the Argama crew, and I only counted one slap. But there were definitely more than one slap, so let's add it to the slap counter. It is always good to be accurate when it comes to how many times an autistic boy is slapped. Last time, through Universal Century 87, Camille finally left Earth and made his way to the Argama. We learned more about Sirocco, the man from Jupiter, and we finally were introduced to the pivotal Zeta Gundam. This time, we will see the death of some high commanding figures. We will also see the G Defensor and the Mark II connect to create a new mobile suit. So let's get into this. Katz wants to head back to the Argama. Commodore Blex and Wong are having an argument. Wong wants Quattro to be Blex's bodyguard, but Quattro wants to sortie at the moon because they know of the Titans' plan to attack soon. Emma and Camille talk about death on the battlefield while Fa spies on them. Meanwhile, the Titans plan Operation Apollo. They plan on taking over the moon and much more. But for now, they are focusing their attention on Von Braun City. Jamaicon intends to use Sirocco's Dogoze Gyar class ship as a shield, but Sirocco will use this as an opportunity to take all the credit. On the Argama, Camille reflects on the fact that many of the people on the battlefield are women and that times are changing. This is an interesting moment that they let breathe in the Japanese version. But if you watch the English dub, then you get silly 80s cartoon moments where Camille goes, "It's a goil." Sirocco's Dogoze class ship fires warning shots at the lunar city. The Argama prepares for launch. Fa steals the Mythos while Camille launches in the Zeta Gundam. Katz also wants to go out. This place is a madhouse. I get why Bright resorts to slapping. I really do. Quattro also heads out to protect the AEUG ships. Fa is slipping, but she gets a hold of herself. Camille's new type senses go off, and he goes to save Fa. She is starting to grasp the full extent of war. Quattro saves Apolly. Sirocco starts to make his move towards the city. This will leave the Titans to deal with the AEUG on their own. Jared notices this. He and Moore launch. Jared is piloting the Gab fleet. Moore realizes that Sirocco is using Jared as a decoy and heads out to protect him. Sirocco's ship descends. All the new types are able to sense him. They get a nauseous feeling. Moore tells Jared that he's being used, but Jared understands that this is a part of war. The Dogoze Gyar ship was able to make it into Von Braun City. They make an ultimatum to surrender the lunar base or it will be shot down. The Argama can't hit the Dogoze Gyar because it will destroy the city in the process. Bright tells everyone to return to the ship for now. On Sirocco's ship, Jamaicon slaps Sirocco for being reckless. He tells Jamaicon that he should be the commander of the newly occupied city. It seems Sirocco is simply putting on an act right now. Quattro and Blex head towards Earth. On Earth, EFF figureheads are meeting in Dakar, Africa. Jamatov Hyman will be making his appearance at this meeting as well. Camille is going incognito to Von Braun City to do a little scouting on the enemy mobile suits. Katz is mad that he can't go as well, so he naturally sneaks on board. During an intermission, both Blex and Quattro are mad. They are currently voting to give Jamatov Hyman and the Titans more control over EFF forces. They are here to try to prevent that. Sirocco just bails and leaves Jared and Moar behind while they were in the med bay. They want to rejoin Jamaicon's team, but he suggests that they simply use this as an opportunity to take time off. As they leave, Jared notices Camille sneaking around the city. He chases and pulls a gun on him. They smack Camille around. Suddenly, Katz comes out of nowhere and pulls a gun on Jared. They drop their guns, but Jared does a roundhouse to Katz's gun. Katz and Camille run away. Jared doesn't want to shoot because he doesn't want to hit civilians. Back on Earth, Quattro gets a ride from a Japanese racist stereotype. He gets back to his hotel to hear gunshots. He runs to Blex's room and finds that he has been assassinated. In his final words, he calls him Char Aznable and tells him to become the leader of the AEUG. Meanwhile, a group of Titans members led by Yazan Gable spot the Argama and decide to attack without consulting Jamaicon and the Alexandria. However, Jamaicon does find out quickly and sends out assistance. He also says fuck it and fires the air raid siren to get Jared's attention within the lunar base. Fa launches in the Mythos and struggles once again to fight the enemy. Rekoa launches in the Zeta Gundam and Camille is able to sense it. A Hyzak is taken out and crashes right into the lunar city. Katz grabs some masks and heads to the escape route where they find Jared. Both pull guns on each other and a bunch of citizens start freaking out around them. Apolly comes in to save Fa. In the escape bunker, the citizens start to turn on the two Titans members. Katz gives Jared's gun and they both escape the bunker. Jared decides to head back to the base, but the citizens won't allow them to leave. So of course Jared punches a kid. He is able to escape. I mean, it was just a kid. Camille runs out to find Rekoa in the Zeta Gundam. She lands and lets him take the reins. This is one of my favorite moments in Zeta. Rekoa asks Camille if Katz is fine. Camille says, yeah, he's fine, he's right over there. Immediately followed by an explosion of Katz flying off screen. It then just cuts to Camille leaving in the Zeta Gundam. Camille goes out and does some damage. Fa is being chased by Yuzan Gaptli when Zeta comes in to rescue her. Jamaican decides that it is time to retreat. Jared finally comes in and asks Jamaican to sortie, but he says he is too late. He allows Jared to stay on board the ship as they retreat, however. Back on Earth, the vote is in. EFF is now, for the most part, completely in the hands of the Titans. Absolute power, bitches! We reached it. A Hyzak comes towards the Argama wielding a white flag. It is Sarah Zabaroff, the pink-haired Titans pilot that Jared constantly yells at. She tells the Argama crew that the Titans plan another colony drop. They believe her, but like Emma, they treat her like an enemy until they are certain that someone could be trusted. But even so, something is a little off with her. Wong wants the Radish and the Argama to work together. They start to see a colony from Side 4 make its move and confirms that Sarah wasn't lying about the colony drop. Meanwhile, Beckner is concerned about Emma's lady parts.
But if for some reason you couldn't bear children someday...
She reassures him that she doesn't plan on getting married. She then gets an omikuji which tells her that she will be married soon. Irony. An omikuji can be found at Shinto temples in Japan that contains a fortune for around a 10 yen donation. Meanwhile, Katz starts becoming a bitchy character while Camille starts playing it cool. The AEUG aren't sure if they plan on attacking Von Braun City or Granada. They prep for battle and their potential death if all things go wrong. Jamaican argues with Yazan. He is growing impatient about not being out on the first wave. On the Argama, Katz lets his boner make decisions for him and he allows Sarah to leave her quarters. Camille launches in Zeta and Emma launches in the Mark II. On the moon, Wong is talking with the mayor of Granada. He demands to know why they aren't evacuating the city. Wong tells him to have faith and more or less say if they lose the moon, they are dead anyways. I'm not so sure the citizens feel the same way, but sure, okay. The Argama goes in and starts using its main cannon on the colony. Yazan and his team go in to stop the ship, but the Argama team tries to stop them. Emma rips off a Hyzak's head. Meanwhile, Katz boner gets the best of him. Sarah thanks Katz and lets him know of the Gap Plant's weak points, but then pushes him and she escapes with her Hyzak. Never make decisions with your boner, folks. Emma is trying to activate the nuclear pulse thrusters attached to the colony to get it to change course. Katz passes on the weak point info to Camille and he uses it to get Yazan to retreat. Emma is able to blow up the pulse thrusters, causing the colony to change its course. It lands in the middle of nowhere on the moon. Jamaican has failed once again. On the Argama, Katz is put in the brig for letting the enemy escape, but Camille thanks him for essentially saving them with the weak point info. Katz now probably has trust issues. On the Alexandria, Yazan and Jamaican are fighting once again. Yazan is planning an attack on the Argama, but Jamaican is heading back to Gryps and won't be turning around for him. He plans on succeeding where Jamaican failed. On the Radish, Hinken fails at trying to ask out Emma again. Step up your game, dude, you're a captain. On the Argama, Bright notes that Camille has definitely grown since he came back from Earth. Katz is tired of being on the Radish as he isn't allowed to sortie. Emma launches in the Mark II to take care of Yazan's crew, who is heading in their direction. Katz takes out the G-Defensor. Henkin allows Katz to go out as a test. The FXA-05D G-Defensor is a support unit for the Mark II. It is based off of the G-Fighter and Core Fighter from the One Year War and can either be used independently or it can be attached to the Mark II to create the Super Gundam. More on that later. It is armed with missiles, Vulcan guns, mini laser guns, and a long-range rifle. In the future, we will see that the GM3 is able to connect to this unit. Emma and Yazan engage in battle. While fighting, they run into an old Guazin-class ship from the old Principality of Zeon. Katz makes his way to the battlefield. Camille wakes up from a nightmare, but realizes that it actually isn't a nightmare and that it is the Radish under attack. Bright allows him to sortie in the Zeta Gundam. He recognizes a lot of Amado, Ray, and Camille. Emma and Katz try to dock with one another, but they keep getting attacked. Suddenly, Camille comes in to save them. Camille gives them enough time to attach and create the Super Gundam. When the G-Defensor and the Mark II combine, it gives the Gundam a 20% increase in mobility and can use the G-Defensor long-range rifle. The mobile unit also has more shields. When it attaches to the Mark II, Kotz detaches using the core fighter. A Hyzak chases him into an abandoned Gwazine class ship. He takes out the Hyzak's head. Both the Hyzak pilot and Kotz abandon their ships in the Gwazine. The Alexandria begins firing on the Gwazine. Emma finds Kotz, but the Hyzak pilot begins shooting at the two. Meanwhile, Camille and Yazan engage in battle. On the abandoned ship, the Hyzak pilot gets the upper hand over Kotz and Emma, but a blast hits the ship, killing the Hyzak pilot. Talk about luck. They escape towards the ship to find Zeta Gundam fighting. Kotz finds an old Gelgoog. He wires it and gets one shot off, helping Camille. Yazan retreats. The Mark II and Zeta chases Yazan back to the Alexandria. Emma fires towards Yazan and misses him, but accidentally shoots the Alexandria's bridge behind him, killing Jamaicon in the process. On the Argama, Bright gets some data that makes him believe that the former members of the Principality of Zeon are working with the Titans to create a new fortress. On the Radish, Captain Henkin thanks Camille for helping them out. As they are talking on the bridge, the abandoned Gwazine class ship finally blows up. And that will do it for this episode. Now that Blex has been assassinated, Quattro is left with leading the AEUG. Luckily, at least Emma was able to get out Jamaicon, even though it was a complete accident. In our next episode, Quattro breaks the news of Blex's death. Sirocco returns to the Jupitrus, and it's time to gas a colony. But until next time, new types, remember, if you are the captain of the ship, you should be able to step up your game when it comes to courting women. Peace.